Welcome back to this week's Midweek Morning Morsel, a can of soup. About 4 years before my husband died, my youngest son made a new friend, and for the sake of privacy, we'll just call him Scott. Scott is about 2 years older than my son, and we learned that Scott's father had died of an illness when Scott was about 10 years old. Little did I know that 3 to 4 years after befriending Scott and his sweet mother, my husband would die. My husband died, ironically enough, when my youngest son was 10 years old, the same age as Scott was when he lost his father. And suddenly, Scott and my son had more in common than they ever had before. After my husband's funeral, Scott's mother told me that I could call her any time I needed to talk, and she held true to that promise. I have been able to call her and text her. She has met me for dinner several times. She has listened to me cry, and she has offered me a lot of advice. All of it good. And one thing that Scott's mother told me early on, she said, "Sarah, there may be a time where you may find it too difficult to open up a can of soup." Hearing her say that made me laugh, but then again, I also knew that she knew more than I did about grief, and it scared me. How could I ever be so weak to not be able to open up a can of soup, I thought. Well, I was soon to find out. And last night was one of those nights. I was making an easy dinner, a bruschetta for my family, and I sliced and toasted the bread. And as I was coring out the tomatoes, I just slammed the knife down on the counter and I stopped. I had to walk away. I had to walk away because coring these darn tomatoes was too laborious for me. It was too difficult. I was too tired. I was too depressed. I could not give any more. So I paused and I sat down and I started to record things into this microphone again because that's what seems to help me the most. I need to get the weight of the struggle off my chest. How can it be too difficult to core a tomato? It's laughable on the surface. It's just laughable. How can it be too difficult to open up a can of soup? But when you are grieving and you have the weight of the world on your shoulders, it somehow seems to be one of the most impossible tasks. And if you are listening and you can relate, well, thank you. It helps me feel human again. Having you listen to me speak about my grief, it helps me feel normal living under an abnormal circumstance. If you too are struggling to open up a can of soup, know that you are not alone. Know that it is not the end of the world, and know that you will get stronger. Do not lose hope. Be gentle with yourself. Rest when you can, and know that there is always takeout. So, until we meet again, keep living until you feel alive.